Hello everyone, this is going to be an uncomfortable video for quite a lot of people that are watching this for obvious reasons. I am looking at this from the outside, looking in. I have no real strong opinions on Tommy Robinson. I made that clear a few times. I think he did some really good work in the past, but you have to look at people's behaviours and what they're doing now. You can't judge someone in the present for the things that they've done in the past, okay? You can't allow them to justify their current actions with something good they may have done before. And recognizing that people can change and that your opinion can change and the facts can change your opinion often leads to something called cognitive dissonance in a lot of people, where what you want to believe wars with the truth and the reality of what you can see before your eyes. That is an uncomfortable feeling. I understand why many people decide straight away they want nothing to do with it. It's not a nice feeling. But having your That being said, I do think that if you want to do your own research, you want to find out if these clips are true, I would suggest you go do that. One of the worst things that you can do is to glibly or blindly believe everything that someone else says, okay? That's a terrible perspective to have. It's a terrible position to be in, and it makes you weak. Go do your own research, find out if I'm telling the truth, find out if these people are telling the truth, make your own conclusions, and that will make you happier than just, again, believing what each person says as they say something different, okay? Now, the uncomfortable truth is that Tommy Robinson seems to be someone that is conflicted. And I'm being very generous when I say this. He seems to be a person that is conflicted by what he wants to happen, what he thinks should happen, and what people are telling him should happen. And these people, for whatever reason, have a lot of influence on him. That's all I'll say right now. Let's listen to these clips. Let's watch them. I'm going to watch a couple of people, and they've got their own strong opinions. They're not my opinions. They're their opinions. But let's watch them anyway. Again, do your own research. Find out what your opinion is. Find out where you stand on this. Let's go. Oh, and again, this is going to probably trigger a lot of people. So if you see loads of comments down below saying, well, no, he didn't say this. He really said this. Actually, he really said this. Everything I'm going to show tonight, they're not taken out of context. These are not things that are trying to gaslight you. These are things that Tommy Robinson himself has said, what other people have said, what the government have said, not taken out of context, okay? I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just going to show you some things. The amount of bullshit I have to do and preface every time I make a video with Tommy Robinson is pissing me off.
The Israeli Jew that told Tommy Robinson there's a special place in hell for the UK has doubled down on his comment and said that anyone offended by it is obviously anti-Semitic and taking it out of context.
And I said there's a special place in hell for the British. You know,
that's every single man, woman and child. Every single British person deserves a special place in hell. Your father, your brother, your sister, your mother, your grandchildren, all of them. And he's kicking off because there was a backlash to that?
The UK has got a special place in my heart because on the one hand, they really helped give birth to the Jewish state in World War I. The Balfour Declaration, the San Remo Accords, the mandate for a Jewish Palestine, the UK was at the forefront of that. And then they turned on us.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
They turned on us, man. And therefore they have a special place in hell.
All those.
He was about to say that. He was about to say that the British turned on the Jews. All right. Wow. Okay.
Anti-Semites are people looking to dismiss Tommy Robinson that are taking this thing out of context.
You disagree with Tommy Robinson, you're an anti-Semite. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I love those labels, guys. Call me a racist more. Call me an anti-Semite more. Call me an Islamophobe more. See how much I give a shit.
Talk about cry out in pain as they strike you. Let me just be clear. Britain is a sovereign Christian nation. We are under no obligation to support Israel or any foreign nation for that matter.
Agreed.
But that man and every single one of his countrymen believe that you and I and your family, your wife, husband, parents, grandparents, your children, your grandchildren, all deserve to go to hell. And
I will say, guys, that's the Christian Nationalist Party. I know nothing about this. And I would I would say, that just because something has Christian or nationalist or something like that in its logo or whatever, it doesn't mean that these people are racist. It doesn't mean they're bad people. That's what they've been telling you for decades now. That's why the BNP got disbanded. That's why Nigel Farage was so happy that he did it, because he thought he defeated the racists, the bad guys. Most of the time, these people just love their country and they want to keep it. They want it to survive. They don't want it to be swamped with a bunch of people that viscerally hate them. And as we've seen recently, every single time that someone talks about this, the government, the media, they all pivot to something else. Every time someone gets stabbed in the street, an Englishman just walking his dog, for example, well, the media doesn't mention that. Instead, they double down on the conversation around Sarah Porchin and how she said something a little bit racist, which wasn't racist, it was just quoting statistics. Inconvenient statistics, but still just statistics. That's the level of duplicity we've got to deal with constantly.
Unless we support the Jewish people in Israel. Can you imagine if a Russian said there's a special place in hell for the UK for turning their back on the Russian people? Or if an Indian said there's a special place in hell for the UK for not supporting India? Or would you allow an African to sit in front of you and tell you that there's a special place in hell for you for not supporting Africa? That place in the Middle East that calls itself Israel is no different to any other country. And contrary to what Tommy might tell you, they have never been our ally. These people hanged 2 British sergeants from trees and they planted a bomb to booby trap the bodies so that when a British army captain tried to cut them down, it exploded in his face. These people bombed the British Army headquarters in the King David Hotel and killed over 90 people.
So I would say here, guys, when she's saying these people, she means the establishment. Okay, not the actual people, just the establishment, the ones that are radicalized, the ones that believe certain ideologies, the ones that believe certain truths are fundamental and inevitable. She is talking about the very extreme elements of probably Zionism or people within Israel or any kind of faith. It doesn't matter where. Here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter whether it's the Israelis trying to do things to the West. There's some of them that probably are doing that. It doesn't matter, because you could say the same about the Chinese, okay? The CCP also vehemently hates the West, especially England, because of what we did with the Opium Wars and things like this. They still have a vengeance against the UK specifically. You've got the Arabs who don't particularly like us very much. You've got different factions around the world that are definitely aligned against the UK. Now, that doesn't mean all of the people. There's nothing racist or anti-bloody Islamophobe, right? All the phobes. All the phobes don't mean anything when you're faced with the truth. That there are people out there that hate this country. That's a fact. There are people that have done horrible things to this country from certain religions and from certain ideologies and from certain states. Let's just get over that straight away.
These people armed Argentina during the Falklands War, and 255 British servicemen were killed. And Zionist Jewish militant groups, in just 3 years, killed 785 British personnel. Not even the IRA killed that many of our men, and they fought us for 30 years. I'm not saying it's a competition, but if it were, Israel would win hands down. And as that Jewish man pointed out, it was the UK that created their nation in 1948. But he thinks we owe them an eternity of support, despite what they've done to us and to our allies.
It is slightly disingenuous, guys, don't you think? And that's an understatement, of course. I hate this idea that the British themselves are to blame for the world's ills. Because it seems like there's every single country blames the British for something. The British themselves are oblivious to this because we didn't do shit, it was our government. The governments have done this. The British themselves were housed in workhouses, in unforgivably bad conditions. If you grew up in the north during the 80s, when I was growing up, not the best place to live, I'll be honest, but not the worst, but go back 100 years, and yeah, it probably is one of the worst existences of humanity at that time. Living in the slums of London, or the slums of Birmingham, or the slums of Middlesbrough, or Newcastle. That was a harrowing experience, not for anyone. Not for any single person would you say that that was a good existence. The British people are not to blame in any of this. But moving on. The reason that I started to talk about this, I noticed this, is because of this clip here.
I just want a Britain where British people are put first. And that's it. Just British people are put first.
Who are those British people?
It's not white people, it's British people.
Right. Does it include me?
Of course it includes you, yeah.
Does it include Muslim?
Of course it includes Muslims.
Okay, so that's pretty bad. Because I see Tommy Robinson now as someone that did something very good in the past, but politically I don't think he's far right. I don't think and you need a far right person or party in this country that's going to save it. It's not going to be saved by a centrist. It's not going to be. I think Tommy's probably centre left. Sorry, Tommy has no problem with mass immigration. He has no problem with diluting our ethnicity. He has no problem calling someone that rocks up tomorrow, as long as they wave a flag, he'll say that they're just as British as me and you. That's a big deal for me. I don't agree with that at all. He says he has no problem with Muslims. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with Muslims, the people. I have a problem with the ideology. I have a problem with any extreme ideology, like Zionism, for instance. I think that's an awful ideology. It's really, really bad. When you listen to all the things that they want to do and their predictions, and it gets dark. It gets very dark, very, very quick, and that's not even going into like the really bad stuff. I don't agree with Tommy Robinson on pretty much everything except when it comes to controlling the extremists and the extreme forms of Islam. Now, I'm also at the point which is way further right than Tommy, but I'm not extreme right. I'm probably that last little ledge before you jump off and you say, okay, let's start doing horrible things. I'm the guy that still says, let's deport them, let's give them all the incentives to leave, let's do everything we can to get our country back. But I am not in the camp of saying, well, you know what, yeah, this is your country too. This is anyone's country as long as you love it. This is anyone's country as long as you come here. Like if you came yesterday and you love the country, it doesn't matter if you stay on the dole and you do like you just dosser or whatever. As long as you wave the flag, you're just as British. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy, and I never can be, because that's not going to save this country. We will not survive as a people with that kind of attitude. And by the way, this clip is not taken out of context. I said that before, I'll say it again. This clip, I went through and watched this live with an audience so that everyone could see for themselves that this wasn't taken out of context. The lead up to this question wasn't taken out of context. It wasn't a leading question. Tommy said that himself, and he didn't clarify it. He didn't say anything that was different moving forward in that conversation. There is no whataboutism here, okay? Here's another clip.
I understand what Israel faces. Many don't. Many have no clue.
I would like to say to Tommy right now, do you understand what Britain faces? Like, I know you keep talking about Israel, right? That's fine. You're probably ideologically and financially captured. But do you understand the mountain, the absolute mountain, the impossibility, the huge scope of troubles that Britain is facing when you've got pretty much the entire world against us? Apart from our allies in the Anglosphere, who are slowly being destroyed themselves.
I understand what Israel faces. Many don't. Many have no clue. I also see Israel as a key ally. It's a beacon of democracy surrounded by Sharia-driven totalitarian hellholes, to be honest, with absolute zero human rights in many of these nations. And I have faced a barrage of unfair misrepresentation by media, attacks by media for years. And what Israel faces now is unfair representation, propaganda, literally from October 8th. I've just said on another interview, it took 50 years for people to start denying the Holocaust. It took a couple of days to start denying. October 7th. October 7th, yeah.
Right, I don't think that Tommy came up with that himself. I think someone's told him to say that. Everyone keeps saying that Tommy Robinson is incredibly smart. He's such a smart guy. He's so smart. He's so smart. Is he, though? Is he?
It took a couple of days. I understand there's no genocide. I understand the absolute absurdity in talking about a genocide, but it's been repeated 10,000 times. Yeah. Once it's repeated 10,000 times, it becomes a matter of fact. Now, I'm certain that
Where did you get that phrase from? Tell me, where did you get that from? Again, that is not Tommy Robinson's phrase. I've heard that from terrible, terrible people in history.
Viewers and your listeners probably think the English Defence League was a far-right organisation. The entire time I led the English Defence League, it was a centrist organisation. But people just now...
So again, he's saying it himself. Even back then, it was a centrist organisation. We can't be doing with that these days, guys. We need something way, way more to the right. Centrism is fucking this country.
Repeat, it's a far-right, extremist, racist organisation because the media said it 100 times. Well, that's the same as Israel. Israel is committing a genocide. Israel is an apartheid state. All of these things that I know are lies.
Okay, right, next clip. This one's pretty bad. This is another opinion piece. Again, this is not my opinion. This is this guy, YouTube. I'm not saying any of this. This is this fellow's video. I am critiquing this. I'm journalistically analysing it, and I'm showing it to my audience.
6 million.
Watch this.
Of our people.
You have
6 million of our people.
Oh, see when that interview, you pathetic little guy, you bitch, you're my little bitch, Tommy. Don't fucking do that to me, you bitch. Don't you fucking interrupt me, you fuck. Slaps him around, beats him around the room. Sorry, I just want to make you look good. I just want to make you, you fucking prick. Look at Robinson's eyes. Even this is too much for him.
And fundamentalism. 80 years ago, we have lost 6 million.
Really?
Of our people.
You have
6 million.
That's
Look
bad.
at that. Look at that, you dumb little fucking guy. Look at him. He slaps him. He slaps him. Not yet, you stupid guy.
All right, I wish you would stop saying that. I'm trying to not get banned on YouTube. Again, YouTube, this is not me. I am critiquing this, not my opinions. So calm down.
Not yet, you see, this is what...
He's going to do it again. All right, fucking dickhead. Just calm down with that. Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. Just say it once, though. It's funnier if you just say it once. Anyway, you get the point. That wasn't an interview. Tommy Robinson was supposed to be interviewing this guy, but this was a captured argument. He had absolutely no say in what this guy was going to say. He couldn't ask him questions. He couldn't do anything there. Completely captured. It looked bad. That's all I'm saying, guys. This looked very bad. It made Tommy Robinson look weak, and in my eyes, it's kind of... The mask is slipping here, okay? You can only say that you're impartial, independent, that you love the country so much. But when your actions deceive your words or counteract your words, it really doesn't look good. Again, moving on to the next clip.
There are great Muslims, so make that point. I grew up with some unbelievable, brilliant Muslims, and I don't hate them, and I don't want them to be kicked out of my country, because it's their country, yeah?
That's the bad part. You see, I agree with him up until that point, when he says it's their country. Because he's not saying our country, he's saying their country. He knows there's a divide there. He recognises it in his speech. He can't help it. Again, everyone says he's such a smart guy, but his language deceives what he really thinks. Or his language lets people know what he really thinks without... Subconsciously, he lets people know what he really thinks through the language that he uses. I got there eventually. So when he says, I love Muslims and all this stuff, blah, 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 but it's their country. Well, why, if they're the same as us, if they're just as British as us and they have the same values as us, why wouldn't you say it's our country? By saying it's their country, you're admitting that you know that they are different, they are separate. They have their own desires, their own wants, their own needs, their own future for this country. There's a lot you can get from a sentence, everyone. Because this is what they really think.
As we've taken over the country, officially, England's over. Allahu Akbar! Yeah, what are we lining up for? This is historical. This is historical. I don't see this for Fajr. Guys, we went down a whole alleyway and there's still a man here.
And right now, Tommy Robinson sounds no different than the supporter of this Islamist march in England, saying that he's on their side and then quickly finds out that no, he isn't.
No need for that. We're on the same side, bro. No, we're not. Yes, we are, bro.
Cool. All right. Well, Tommy Robinson says, you know, I understand, right? I understand, guys. I'm not trying to gaslight you. Tommy Robinson is talking about people, human beings. But unfortunately, when it comes to Muslims and Islam, they are a collective. They're a block. apostasy is real in that religion, and it's very, very harshly punished. So I don't think there's going to be many practicing Muslims that would ever criticize one of the extremists. And if that's the case, then they are the extremists. It's as simple as that. Moving on. This one's pretty bad. Get ready for this one, guys, because this one's gonna hurt.
The UK has got a special place in my heart because on the one hand, they really helped give birth to the Jewish state in World War I.
I know you've already seen this, but I mean, I'm going to get onto this in a sec, okay? This is leading somewhere.
The Balfour Declaration, the San Remo Accords, the mandate for a Jewish Palestine, the UK was at the forefront of that. And then they turned on us.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
They turned on us, man. And therefore they have a special place in hell.
Wow, if someone said that to my face, all British people have a special place in hell. And this guy is not a very nice guy, as we'll see in a second.
We're turning on the Jewish people. You were like doing this great thing. You were helping Israel be reborn after 2,000 years of exile. And
you know, if that's true, right? Let's thought experiment here. If that's true, and the British were helping the Jews and they did all these good things for them, and then they did one bad thing that the Jews disagreed with, and suddenly we deserve a special place in hell, right? All British people. What if that's reversed? Have the Jews ever done anything bad? So let's say the Jews had done all good things throughout history, never did a single thing bad, never did one thing bad. Israel's never done anything bad. Well, imagine they just did one thing bad. Do they deserve a special place in hell just because they did one bad thing? Should they be remembered forever for doing that one bad thing? And all generations, all future generations deserve a special place in hell. Imagine that was reversed. Do you think this guy would be flipping his fucking hat off?
And it was, you know, it was a biblical value. It was also a defense for a UK value, but it all turned on us. Can we turn it back?
Can we turn it back? The British government have just turned on Israel. But they've
been turning on us for a long time.
Yeah, but when we say they, it's the British government. So let's separate the people from the establishment. The establishment have turned. It's like when the American establishment were in power under Joe Biden. The American people didn't support that. The British public don't support what the British government have just done. If it was put to a democratic vote on whether the British public wished to recognise the state of Palestine, it would be a resounding no. It would be a resounding.
Do you think he believes Tommy Robinson? Do you think Tommy Robinson has changed his ideological viewpoints with saying that actually it's not the people, it's the government? Do you think there's a distinction in this man's head that has just been clarified? I'm not sure, especially when I hear stuff like this.
And I said it very clearly: blow a hole in the thing. If not,
bring it on. Okay, now I got that.
If not, bring some boats. Send them to Cyprus. Send them to Spain. Send them to southern France.
Spain is happy to take.
That's right. Send them to Ireland. Their beloved friends in Ireland.
And then could they come back after the war?
Wait a minute.
Because the Syrians get to go back.
Wait a minute. Yeah. There's millions of them in tents right now.
But they have the right.
I'll tell them that Noam says that they have the right to come back. Okay, no problem. Anyway, the bottom line.
They have no right to come back. That's what he's saying.
Is that first thing I would do is I would ensure that non-combatants.
Anyway, so he goes on to talk about how we get them out, how they get them out. Sorry. So he wants to send them to Europe. He mentioned Ireland, but I'm sure the UK is in there as well. And that's the problem. If you've got someone that believes that Britain itself, you know, every single man, woman, and child deserves to go to hell, the worst kind of hell, the hottest place in hell, the very worst place that hell itself can fathom, that's where the British deserve to go. Do you think this guy who's talking about deporting Palestinians and sending them to Europe, do you think he's not going to think about the United Kingdom as the very first place in his mind? Especially when you've got a British leader who says things like this.
Are you a Zionist? Well, look, I don't know how many people know this. My parents' family are Jewish, and we've got extended family in Israel. That we feel this every day. I don't describe myself as a Zionist, but I understand and I sympathise and I support Zionism.
So he's not a Zionist. He doesn't describe himself as a Zionist, but he sympathises and supports Zionism. That sounds like a fucking Zionist to me.
Stop that.
I'm not sure, unless I'm a moron and I can't understand English. Anyway, moving on. The BBC has just released that dependents of Gazan students can now join them in the UK. It's like all the pieces are falling into place. Everything's just falling into place, isn't it? Muslims, that's their country. They're welcome here. You know, you've got Jewish leaders coming out saying send them to Europe. You've got Keir Starmer saying that he's a Zionist. You've got these people that were sent over here originally, these students. They're just students, guys. Fucking hell. Right, so these students came over, and now they're saying that their dependents can come over. By the way, they're students. Since when do students have dependents? You mean their families, don't you? Their extended families and their extended families. So basically Palestine. Welcome to the UK. So I'm saying, guys, right, all of this stuff, everyone can go do your own research. Don't just rely on me to show you clips because you might think I'm taking them out of context. Go watch the entire interviews, go watch everything that I've posted, and you'll find out for yourselves. You'll come to your own conclusion. I'm not trying to push anything on you. I'm not trying to be an ideologue. I'm trying to just put the pieces together and find out who's lying to me and who's telling the truth. Who can I put my faith in and who has gone a little bit too far to a different ideology and a different set of beliefs, or who was never there in the first place. That's all I'm trying to do. I mean, I have my own perspective, and it's that the English belong to England, and that country is ours, and anyone else that says otherwise is my enemy. But that's just me. You can make up your own mind. Alright, guys. Awkward one. See you later. Oh, and if you do like the channel, please subscribe.